With NFT games growing in awareness and popularity, I thought I'd take the time to make my list of the top 5 upcoming games. Now, I'll probably mention more than 5, but what I've tried to do is spread it into different genres of games so that anyone looking at this might find a game that they will enjoy. Now, I am looking at these games from a gameplay perspective, and it is my personal opinion, so I am a little biased, but that's why I've tried to spread it into genres so that maybe we can cover something for everyone. Now, this is not going to be financial advice. This isn't me trying to say this is the game I think you should buy into. This is me looking at it from a personal view of gameplay and what I think I would enjoy and you guys might enjoy. So these games you might want to keep an eye out for and possibly play when they do come out. But if you do want to invest in anything, do your own research and look into that stuff. I don't want to get into that area. I'm not a crypto expert. I'm more of a gamer that is getting into the crypto gaming space because that's where I see gaming going. So without any more, let's get into my top 5 list. The number 1 game for my list is going to be Illuvium. Now, if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm very passionate about this game. I was a big Pokemon fan growing up, and the fact that this game aims to make an open world Pokemon-style exploration game where you explore a world, you're going to mine resources, you can do some herbalism, pick some plants, you're going to craft things, but at the same time, you're going around to basically catch these Illuvials, which are pretty much Pokemon with evolution chains. So you can collect them all and go for that angle. But then on top of that, it has a competitive PvP scene, which is going to be through an auto battler system, and auto battlers are something that I really enjoy as well. I have another YouTube channel which focuses around a game that has auto battling mechanics. So this game fits really well into me personally for 2 things that I really enjoy, and if you enjoy either of those things, I think this game could be really nice for you. Now, as for playing Illuvium, you can enter the game free to play and enjoy the exploration and battling free to play. However, you're only going to be able to capture tier 0 Illuvials. However, these Illuvials should still have some value in combat due to mechanics and stuff like that. It's just if you want to go and catch tier 1 through tier 5 Illuvials, you will have to be spending some money. However, if you do go into the game and level up those tier 0 Illuvials that you do capture, you will be able to sell them on a marketplace. And if new players coming in don't want to spend the time to level up the low tier Illuvials to be able to progress into the harder areas, they can then purchase these Illuvials off of you, which will give you the funds to then go ahead and pay to enter into the next section, meaning you can effectively make money off of the game without putting any money in, but it's just the money you earn from it you would have to reinvest. Now, there hasn't been much gameplay shown for Illuvium yet. We do have little clippets that we have seen. However, the background design over on their Discord has been thoroughly documented, so you can see a lot of the different Illuvials and the 3D renders of them and how they are going to function, and it looks beautiful. And that's why I'm really excited for this game. You've got a really nice aesthetic with 2 game styles that I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, for full disclosure, I am invested into Illuvium, into the ILV token. I have it staking so that I can generate extra token that I can then spend in the game. The launch for Illuvium is expected in Q1 of 2022. However, in Q3 of 2021, there will be a land sale and a mini game for your mobile phone tied to that land sale. On to number 2 on my list, and this one is going to be an action RPG that I am really excited about, and that is Big Time. Now, Big Time takes a lighter stance on the NFT side of things. NFTs are only going to be aesthetics in the game, so there is no pay to win. You can't buy for your progression. Now, this game will function in instance group combat. So you'll team up with a group of up to 6 players. You'll go into an instance and battle enemies and defeat bosses and claim the loot. Now, there will be other loot in the game, for instance, weapons and stuff like that, that will actually give you stats, and you'll have to progress through upgrading your gear and all of those things. However, all of the NFTs will be purely cosmetic, meaning that you can't buy those weapons off other players to gain your progress. Now, the way I'm really excited about this game is I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, and I found in World of Warcraft, whilst yes, the MMO side of things was really nice, I spent a lot of time just chilling out in Orgrimmar, because yes, I was for the Horde, but I spent a lot of time in Orgrimmar just waiting for queues and then going in queues and playing with friends. So that is pretty much what I feel this game is going to implement in an action RPG style. They're going to have some like little hubs where you can sort of like chill out in a city, walk around, see people and stuff like that. Then you will be able to go into portals, go to other instances, and then go ahead and battle enemies. And it's going to be across different timelines. So you're going to get a lot of interesting different timeline type aesthetics as you travel throughout the world. Now, Big Time is set for a release in Q1 of 2022, and it will be a staggered release. They are doing pre-sales for early access to the game. They have gold passes, silver passes, and emerald passes. Now, these will be controlled on when players can get into the game due to what pass they have, and then once all of those are done, everyone will be just able to enter the game. Now, they haven't stated exactly the time frame between each pass holder on when they can get in, so we will have to wait and see. And for full disclosure, my good mate Seaton, who also has a crypto channel, I'll leave it linked in the description, he is holding onto a gold pass for me, so I do aim to play the game as soon as it is available. Number 3 on my list is Guild of Guardians. Now, Guild of Guardians is going to be a mobile action RPG, and this gets me excited because I do have 2 other channels focusing on mobile games, and action RPGs, for me personally, function really well on the mobile platform. Now, Guild of Guardians will be free to play with common heroes. However, there are pre-sales that have already gone on. So there are legendary tier heroes and epic and rare tier heroes that could have been purchased. There will also be guilds that can be purchased because there's going to be a high emphasis on guilds to be able to do that cooperative dungeon gameplay as well. Now, if you are free to play and wondering if there's earning capacity for you, you can fuse common heroes together to make higher rarity heroes that can then be sold on the blockchain. Now, on top of that, you can craft equipment and all that sort of stuff, which then can be sold. Now, on their website, they do say it's not pay to win, because it's not focused on PvP, meaning that you're not progressing at another player's detriment. However, you can still buy these things to give yourself an advantage. It's just that there's no PvP, meaning no other players that you are pushing down the ranks for your position. One of the other reasons I am excited about Guild of Guardians is not only because it's action RPG on mobile, which I really enjoy, but also the execution seems very manageable due to the art style and also the mobile application of it. A lot of these games are highly ambitious and may not be able to deliver exactly on what they're trying to achieve, but on the mobile platform with a nice action RPG, which has been proved time and time again, adding in these little elements, it makes me feel like it's going to be a nice little side game, even if it's not fully time intensive if I don't want to do that. A nice side game that I can play when I'm out and about and I just want to pick up my phone and jump on it. And Guild of Guardians is also set for an early 2022 release. Number 4 on my list is Star Atlas. Now, this game is the complete opposite to what I just said about Guild of Guardians. This is on a massive scale using an incredible Unreal 5 engine for really high graphic quality. So they've gone for the best of both worlds. And while I think this project is an interesting one for me to watch personally, I have not invested in it. It seems like a very, very high risk project for me on that aspect. But if it delivers, it's going to be amazing. So it's the kind of game I'm happy to jump into and experiment with as soon as there's any hint that I can actually play it as free to play. So what this game essentially aims to do is make its own explorable universe where basically everything is an NFT and everything is at risk. So you'll have zones of exploration where you can go, you can build your spaceship, and if you want to get to that star over there, which is something you can actually explore, you're going to need a good spaceship with lots of fuel and a crew to run it to actually make the journey over there. However, when you go into deep space exploration, there's the added fact that if a pirate comes and destroys your ship, that ship is an NFT, that NFT then gets burned, it's gone, you lose it, and then it turns into a bunch of separate little parts that they can pillage and then sell. So there is high risk involved in it. It makes me think that this project is a very long time away. Now, they have said that they will slowly release pieces of this game. For instance, a little hangar where you can go in and view your ship. But for me, I see this game as being a several year process before they actually get it fully released because of that massive scale. But not only the massive scale, it's tied into the fact that it has such a great graphical quality. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm speaking about this game skeptically. I'm just speaking about it on the scale that it is. It's an insane project, and if it delivers well, it's going to be very exciting. So I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to play it and everything about it. I just think it's going to take a bit of time to get it polished. And I'm excited also for the things that it could implement, things like insurance in your NFTs, because if you've got a ship that's worth thousands and thousands of dollars that is at risk of being destroyed by someone else in a game, you might want to try and get some insurance. And this game may be that little bridging factor that starts to see real world use of some things like insurance on the blockchain. So it's got a lot of interesting things to me. Me personally, it's not my top game because I'm not a huge fan of the space exploration games, but I know that some people really love the whole space exploration type of thing. And there's all these different things that you can do. Like, you don't have to be someone who builds a big ship and goes off for miles and does that sort of stuff. You can be a worker on a ship. So they're trying to make an entire universe that you can play in on a massive scale with an amazing aesthetic. So like I said, it's very, very ambitious. And if they pull it off, it'll be absolutely amazing. But the other thing that it does rely on is having a massive player base, because you don't want to be going in exploring things and having no one to interact with. So it's one that I am watching carefully. I'm really excited about, but also a bit tentative on for my own personal investments. Number 5 on my list, I wanted to make one game that was going to be an MMO, but I decided to choose 2 games for this one because they're very different in the approach that they're going with from the blockchain perspective. So I wanted to give you both. So we'll kick it off with the first one, which is Mirandus. Now, Mirandus is an MMORPG where everything in the game is basically an NFT, and you'll be able to sort of have jobs in the game and do all that sort of stuff. Now, the aesthetic is something that lets me down a little bit personally. Now, that is a personal opinion. Don't let my personal opinion on aesthetic impact you. If you love the block aesthetic, then you'll have a fantastic time in this game. It's got the awesome MMO features and all that ownership tied to it. But for me, I'm not a big fan of it, but I also think it's a very smart decision. When you compare Mirandus to something like Star Atlas, the block graphics just make the game a lot easier to produce and a lot faster to make adjustments. So it's on a smaller scale than Star Atlas with a much simpler graphic design, which means it's going to be much easier to execute, and execution is a big thing in this world. So like I said, not my favorite design, but I completely understand the reason they are going for it. Now, this game is very interesting. We don't have a set release date for it. However, the cool thing about it is that just about everything has ownership. So people have bought deeds to land and buildings and stuff like that. And when they actually do release the game, it will be a staggered release where people will have to choose where they drop their cities, their towns, their lands, all that sort of thing, to be able to create the world that everyone else will explore in. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch, definitely, on the whole production of it and how it starts actually developing and how the world is made. But then also cool to jump into free to play later on and actually explore and see what you can actually do in that world once the players have essentially created it. So it's one of those ones that has a lot of customization and a lot of options on what can actually be done. And I'm really excited to just watch the game, watch the development, and see how it all pans out. Now, the other MMO that I wanted to look at is going to be Ember Sword. Now, Ember Sword's aesthetic is a bit better to me than what Mirandus is. It's a bit more complex in the design, still got those square edges and stuff like that, but I really do like it a bit more. And the other thing about this game is it takes the complete opposite approach of Mirandus. Now, there are some things in this game that are NFTs. There's going to be the land, there will be land sales and land that is an NFT in Ember Sword, but the only other NFTs are going to be aesthetic NFTs. But the way they implement it is really interesting. For instance, if you get an NFT as a skin for a weapon or something like that, and you go into combat and you're the first one to slay a new boss, that will permanently be on record on that NFT, and you will know that that is the weapon that first slayed this enemy. So there's a lot of cool little things like that that they will be implementing. Now, the thing about this game is because it's not as heavily NFT based and you won't be able to buy your progress, the game's economy is heavily going to rely on the success of the game and the players in the game. game. Because if you have something that signifies that you were the first person to kill a boss, that boss has to have meaning to a lot of people for that thing to have value. So it's a really nice implementation where it's free to play. There's no pay to win aspects. You can't pay for the progress. You've just got to play the game, get those aesthetics, and the aesthetics become the marketplace. And it's the game that is the driving force behind it. However, like I said, it depends on how the game pans out, how many people are playing, and how valuable those things actually become. But nonetheless, because it is free to play, everyone can jump in and have fun, and there's no restrictions on what you actually can do in the game. So this one, I'm actually looking forward to playing more than Mirandus because I just want to play it, have fun, and if I get a cool aesthetic and the game pops off and I can sell it for a bit of cash, hey, it's all bonus on top. So that is going to be it for the top 5 crypto games that I am looking forward to. Now, like I said, I had my personal bias in these because they're the games that I am looking forward to playing in the order that I am looking forward to them, but don't let my bias impact you. Definitely go check these games out. They all look amazing in their own right, and it just depends on what you actually prefer. Like I said, for me personally, Illuvium matches 2 things that I am incredibly passionate about, and that's why I'm incredibly excited about it. But hey, if you just like that block aesthetic and you're going for full ownership on everything and you want to like create your own city and gather your resources and stuff like that, you go for Mirandus. If you want to travel around the galaxy, the game may take a while to get out, but hey, Star Atlas could be amazing. But anyway, guys, if you're still hanging around at this stage, don't be afraid to go and click the subscribe button. But thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.